My name is Jessica Jackobson. I work for Hollow Point Contracting here in Pouce-Coupe, and we've been fighting with the ALC now for 11 years. And since this building has been built. There was a building permit before it initially broke ground, and the building was too big for the ALC specs, but we were told that they can apply for a variance and to continue building, and that guy has since been fired, and they declined the variance. So the shop was half built, and they put stop building orders on our shop during construction, and obviously we continued, and it's been a fight ever since. Our government is absolute overreach in every aspect, and it's absolutely crazy. There's so much red tape on everything nowadays. Yet I live personally a mile and a half from the border, and you go across that border, and their economy is something completely different than ours because there's no red tape over there. You want to build something, just build it. Go to Bay Tree. Every single property out there has a big shop and a little company operating on farmland and everything out there, right? But you cross this border and they just want to red tape everything. No small businesses, just big corporates. That's all they want. We're a trucking company of 4 trucks. So why would we buy a lot in town and pay $100,000 a year in taxes? I can understand why somebody like CYT can do that. They have 30, 40 trucks, right? We have 4. It's totally legal to operate it right out of our yard, which we did for years. But, well, Mom's truck got dirty and from the dust, so he moved it up here. He moved the whole company out of the yard. The homestead, right? It just gives you that break from work and your home life. He bought the land because it was cheap, because it was unusable. It was a beaver dammed mess before it was bought. It was you couldn't barely walk through here. It was a swamp. They were very aggressive. As soon as the lawyer was involved, and you red tape them almost, like, no, you don't talk to, they want to pin the owners of this property and just interrogate them. But now that they just say, no, talk to my lawyer, discuss this with my lawyer, they've left us alone since there was a lawyer involved. So legally, they have nothing to stand on, because as soon as you involve a lawyer, they back down. And it is the truth. Like, they back down a little bit, and they're so full of false threats, false empty threats. They threaten $100,000 fine, and Dad says, is it $100,000? And then I continue operating, and it's and they can't answer. They cannot answer any of these questions that we have. We were told to rip down the shop, move all the shale out of here, take it back to the before we got here, pretty much. And it was unfarmable land anyway, and no farmer in this North Country is going to buy 14 acres to get 5 bales of hay off here every year. And that is just the truth. No, you can ask any farmer in this country. 14 acres of land might be a big property in Vancouver, but we don't live there. Farmers up here buy quarter sections or sections to farm, not 14-acre parcels. Those are designed for little homesteads. It's not, Oh, and he applied to get it out of the ALC. It is 14 acres. It wasn't subdivided by us. It was subdivided by the government. This is a 14-acre parcel divided off because that highway went through. So it was our government that subdivided this from a quarter section. He offered them, like, why don't you take it out of the ALC and I will pay commercial taxes on it. Charge me 10, 12 grand a year for the taxes on here. We pay $350 a year. We've offered to pay them more if you take it out of the ALC, but they refuse. They are allowed to take a certain amount of land out of the ALC every year, but they prefer to do it down south because they're only allowed a certain amount every year, and they prefer to do it down south where it's worth way more money. But they'll red tape us up here because this property is worth next to nothing compared to the Vancouver real estate rate. we would be more than willing to agree on a reasonable solution, but our reasonable solution isn't ripping down a $400,000 or $500,000 shop. That's not a reasonable solution to us. It's that's their reasonable solution, but it's not reasonable